Okay, here we go. I'm going to be taking another one of these Duolingo English tests, and let's see how it goes. We're going to focus mostly on the reading. So the read and select, fill in the blanks, read and complete, um, and maybe listen and type, but mostly reading. And hopefully I can give you guys some tips on how to do this. Okay. Okay. Is it a word? Is it not a word? Realistically is a word. It's a word you should hear pretty frequently. Um, Briatra is not a word. Proof is a word. This is another pretty common word that we use in English. Notice, another very common word. Assert. So most of these words that are words, you should have seen before by the time you take this test. Unabelect is not a word. Personestly, no. Nothes, no. Do, yes. Disattached, no. Nor is a word. Actively, yes. Lipes, no. Tetshine, no. Cement, no. Cement is a word, but it's not spelled like that. Wreck is a word. Gifted, yes. So in some of these, they'll try to give you words that have the wrong spelling. Retrove, no. That's like retrieve, but no. So be careful on some of the spellings. Maybe you'll see that word cement and think, oh, that's a word, but that is not how we spell it. So you need to be studying spelling as well. The crowd cheered and shouted words of encouragement. What do people do with words in a crowd? They're cheering and shouting, or they're yelling them very loud. After sketching, digital artists can use this tool to erase. What do we do with unwanted lines? We erase them. So for the fill in the blanks, make sure you're looking at the words after and the words just before to see the word in context. Yesterday we went to the park and it brought back so many childhood memories. Children play at parks. So they brought back childhood memories. In a philosophical argument, one must methodically blank each premise for valid reasoning. One must methodically analyze. We have an argument, we have philosophy, we have reasoning, we have to analyze. In a courtroom scenario, the defense and prosecution present opposing arguments. The defense and the prosecution present opposing. They are opponents and they present opposing arguments to the jury. So it's good to know different forms of words. The weather blank for the next day indicates a likely increase in temperature. This is the word forecast, the weather forecast. So this is a word that you should know from studying intermediate English up to this level. As dusk fell, what do we do with candles? She lighted a candle to brighten the room. She lighted a candle, or she lit a candle. Equipped with headlamps and safety ropes, scientists prepared to into the uncharted depths of the cave. Equipped with headlamps and safety ropes, scientists prepared to plunge. Plunge. I didn't have time to write it. It was plunge. Plunge. Companies blank financial losses when they fail to swiftly adapt to changing market. Fringe. Friends. Companies. Uh, I'm not sure about that one actually. Okay. But the important thing is that you don't have to get every single one perfect to get a good score on that. And this is where a lot of people are being held back. This is where a lot of people are reaching a plateau. You just need to get like 80 to 90% of them correct. So let's listen now.
My artistic journey began when I was young.
My artistic journey began when I was young.
My
My
artistic
artistic
journey
journey
began when I
began when
was
I
young.
was young.
It's not just performance that's important, but also appearance.
It's not just performance that's important, but appearance. So for these, make sure you're getting the contraction, the contracted form of that and is.
It's not just performance that's important, but also appearance.
So we have two contractions in this sentence, it's and that's. I'm not sure if they will take points off for it is instead of it's or that is instead of that's, but it's good to be as accurate as possible.
It's not just performance that's important, but also appearance.
But also appearance. Listen to it as many times as you can to get it as close to perfect as possible. Structures. So the first thing we want to do here is read the title, a bit about buildings. Structures with foundations, walls, and roofs. Engineers design structures to meet specific criteria for such things as function, cost, size, and appearance. So read the title, read the first sentence, and read the last sentence. Great, great advice. They are the result of com complete. Hmm, hold on. And if you're not sure, it's always okay to come back to one. They're the result of complex systems. So um, the fact that systems is a noun means that there's probably an adjective before it. So what's the adjective that starts with con? Complex. Systems or function, hold on. Structures with foundations, walls, and roofs protect us from the elements so we can live and work in comfort. They're the result of complex systems or function as or function. Not 100% sure. For complex systems of function and design. Okay. Systems of function and design. Engineers uh, engineers and architects are trained professionals who play important roles in designing and supervising the construction of such structures. With their training, they can anticipate problems that may arise and develop strategies to correct the difficulties. So, if we have words that are short, like 2 or 3 words, letters long, it's probably either of, and, are, as. So you need to kind of guess and check to see which ones are good. In terms of the nouns, make sure that you are following the context of the sentence. So trained professionals, they are trained professionals. This is describing what came before it. And what do? They play important roles. Doing what? Designing and supervising the construction of such structures. Okay. So
The
as you
tree
can see,
branches grew wildly in all directions.
some of this is even kind of tough for native speakers. So don't feel bad if you're not getting like a perfect score, but the way to get a perfect score is to practice over and over again and also do other things like read books and listen to videos. Like It's all English. It is all going to help you get better at this test.
The tree branches grew wildly in all directions.
The tree branches grew wildly in all directions. So make sure you're listening for the adverb.
The tree branches grew wildly in all directions.
Good.
There is more to the theory than what we've discussed in class.
There is more to the theory than what we've discussed in class. Again, watch out for the contractions. We've.
There is more to the theory than what we've discussed in class.
So here he says we've, not we have. But at the beginning he says
There is more to the
there
theory than what
is.
we've discussed in class.
He says there is. He doesn't say there's. So watch out for the contractions.
The signs advertising the new bakery were posted around town.
Okay.
The signs advertising the new bakery were posted around town.
The signs advertising the new bakery were posted around town.
The signs advertising the new bakery were posted around town.
Okay, that one's pretty clear, I think. There's nothing to really know about that one. You just need to be listening for the nasal ing consonants. The signs advertising the new bakery. And here we have the passive voice. They were posted around town.
There isn't much on our agenda for today.
There isn't, contraction, much on our agenda for today. One more time.
There isn't much on our agenda for today.
There isn't much on our agenda for today.
There isn't much on our agenda for today.
So notice when he says for, he says it like fur. There isn't much on our agenda for today. That's a very natural way to pronounce for. Okay, I'm going to do one more of these and stop the video because I don't want it to be too long. We're already almost about 15 minutes, but I wanted to give you guys just a little bit of tips. Roughly 3 years after the photo sharing app PicChat emerged as a significant player in the world of online messaging, the app is generating revenue. That's the first sentence. The last sentence says, while it has shown some success with small advertising units aimed at specific brands, overall the company faces a long road to proving it can generate significant revenue from advertising. Now, what they do on this section that you have to watch out for, because it can help you a lot, is they reuse the same words. So some of these words might be words that they repeat later in the paragraph. So let's see. So don't expect to see many big advertisers spending big money anytime soon. That's because the success of the app, we know it's app because we're talking about an app in the beginning here, the app, which that's because the success of the app, which R doesn't make sense there, which something intended to appear, the success of the app, so success of the app, which intended to appear onto in no only in onto in doesn't make sense because that's two prepositions together. Only in the app of users who choose to turn them on is the difficult is too difficult for brand marketing executives to measure. Okay, let's check it out. Roughly 3 years after, don't expect to see many big advertisers spending big money anytime soon. That's because the success of the app, which it's 3 letters, which are intended to appear only in the app of users who choose to turn them on. This could be R, I'm not sure. Is too difficult for brand marketing executives to measure. The success of the app, which are intended to appear only in the app of users who choose to turn. Okay. Point is, it doesn't have to be 100% perfect to get a 150 or a
I pointed
160.
out the problems with this strategy at the meeting.
I pointed out the problems with this strategy at the meeting.
I pointed out the problems with this strategy at the meeting.
So be sure that you're listening for the ED. I pointed out the problems.
I pointed out the problems with this strategy at the meeting.
Good.
Libraries are places that store collections of written materials and other media. Libraries are places that store collections of written materials and other media.
One thing that helps is to repeat it after. Repeat it as the person is saying it, as the recording. Repeat it with the recording to see if what you typed matches what they're saying.
Libraries are places that store collections of written materials and other media.
Perfect.
She would either have to miss her class that day or miss her brother's performance.
So another tip for this is if you only understand the first half or the second half or part of it, write down the part that you do understand. Okay, write down the part that you do understand and then go back and see like what part you didn't understand.
She would either have to miss her class that day or miss her brother's performance.
She would either have to miss her class that day or miss her brother's performance. So like if I had only understand the beginning of this, she would either have to miss her class. What was the
She would
second?
either have to miss her class that day or miss her brother's performance.
Or miss her brother's performance. Just like that. You can do it piece by piece. Okay, one more of these, I think. Okay, electricians in the construction industry. A highly skilled job. Electricians that work in the construction industry are typically responsible for installing and maintaining electrical wiring circuits and equipment in the building. They provide power to heat and light uh, and operate machines, machinery, and appliances in office buildings, factories, and other types of commercial buildings. So in one like this, if they're giving you a list of words that are associated with a topic. So you need to study topics. Like in this, I noticed that like construction is a common one, agriculture is a common one, academia is a common one. So you want to study groups of vocabulary words, categories of vocabulary words. Electricians install wiring and electrical controls, providing convenience for occupy occupation, no, providing convenience for occup occupiers and safety features that protect both workers and visitors. So I'm about 99% sure this is correct. They provide power to heat and light. Yeah, to heat and they provide power to heat and light. This could be produce also, right? Produce. They produce power. They produce. mm, Do they produce power or do they provide power? That's a tough one. They produce power to heat and light and operate uh, machinery and appliances in office buildings, factories, and other types of commercial buildings. Electricians install wiring and electrical controls, providing convenience for occupiers and safety features that protect both workers and visitors. The only one I'm not sure about is occupiers, but the rest is fine. So again, doesn't have to be perfect, just pretty close to perfect. Interactive reading. Okay, so I'm going to stop here. I'm going to do another video later about the interactive reading, but hopefully this helped you guys. Stay tuned for the next video. Follow, subscribe to my channel, and like this video if it helped you. And if you want to see the next one, stick around, subscribe, and I will be making videos hopefully every day, or as often as I can. Thank you for watching. Bye.